What's going on, Dolphins fans? It's Connor from the Dolphins Dive, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the top Dolphin free agents we must bring back to the team. I'm going to be going over the list of free agents and then going over the ones that we should bring back, and then have a top 3 players that I think are most important to bring back. Before I get into today's video, just a little quick plug to the merch shop, thedolphinsdive.com. Get the best Dolphins merch out there. Great tees, mugs, and shirts. Mike McDaniel, McLovin. Check your pulse. There's some Tua stuff, some Javon Holland stuff. Just check it out. It would mean a lot to me, but I'm going to get right into today's video. So I'm going to go over the top list of free agents. I'm not going to go through every single player because that would be a little tedious, but go over the biggest names that are free agents. So Mike Gesicki, obviously, Teddy Bridgewater, Eric Rowe, Melvin Ingram, Nick Needham, Duke Riley, Landon Roberts, Raheem Mostert, Thomas Morstead, Trent Sherfield, Jeff Wilson, River Craycraft, Michael Dieters, Von Ahmed. That's basically it. That's the top list of players that are becoming free agents from the Dolphins. Now I'm going to go over the players that I think we should bring back. Obviously, the conversation most people are having, or the biggest name on that list, is Mike Gesicki. I think we all know the writing's on the wall that he's no longer going to be a Dolphin. It's unfortunate. Obviously, he's had some good years, some down years with the organization, but where we are as a team, where the scheme is, and what we need from the tight end position, Mike just doesn't provide. He's a tremendous talent, but he just doesn't fit the scheme. He doesn't break tackles after the catch. He's just a big frame that's athletic for his size, but we haven't been able to utilize him properly. But the fact that he's not good at blocking, and then he's just good at contested catches, and he can't really provide anything after the catch, is just, it's not worth paying, in my opinion. But I could definitely see a scenario where Mike Gesicki goes to a good team that utilizes him properly, and he becomes a very good player. But just, if he's going to be a good receiver, I'm cool with that. But at least have it after the catch ability. He just doesn't. He just either goes down or he tries to hurdle, but he never really has success after the catch. And it's a little frustrating, but I think we should move on from him. Teddy Bridgewater, obviously, he's, as a name, he's a good backup. But when he was a backup, he got injured. I wouldn't want to pay this much money for a backup. We had Skylar Thompson, who did all right. Not great, but I think he's a serviceable backup. I think you either go out and just spend cheaper money on a backup quarterback rather than the $6.5 million we had on Bridgewater. So Teddy's a great player, great teammate, but I would rather spend that money elsewhere, get a cheaper guy to back up Tua and Skylar. But I'm going to go over the list I got now of the players I do think we should bring back. Comment down below if you disagree or agree. So, top of the list, Von Ahmed. He's a restricted free agent, but we should still bring him back. We have literally no running backs currently under contract, so I think we need to at least get depth before we continue to add through free agency or the draft or whatever avenue the Dolphins or you fans want to see happen. So, I think we just need depth. Von Ahmed's actually played very well in his limited snaps. He actually did a good job. River Craycraft, similar to Ahmed, kind of knows the scheme in and out. When his number was called on, he did a great job. He's a phenomenal wide receiver 4 or 5 just to have on the back end there. Like I said, knows the scheme in and out, blocks his ass off, does his job. Raheem Mostert, actually I'm going to save that one for later. I kind of spoiled it, but whatever. Thomas Morstead, punter, up for contract. Once again, ideally you don't want to spend this much money on a punter. I forgot what his contract was exactly, but he wasn't cheap. With that said, he was the best punter we've had in a minute. So ideally, we can bring Morstead back, but I understand if they want to try and save some money and go elsewhere with that position. Nick Needham, this one's actually up in the air for me, but I'm going to go over it. It depends what his price tag is. If he's coming off a major injury and he's switching schemes to a scheme that probably isn't as ideal as the previous one, because Nick Needham was a dog in man coverage, but we're moving to more of a zone-based defense where there's other traits that are more valued per se, but Nick Needham's still a dog. I think it comes down to how they view his medical, how much money he's going to be going for in free agency. So ideally we can bring him back, but if his price tag is a little high, I wouldn't recommend it just because he's coming off the injury. We're switching schemes. But like I said, if we can bring him back on a very cheap deal, by all means. Nick Needham is a fan favorite. He's a tough dude, just works his ass off. Big Nick Needham guy. And then the last name before I get into my top 3 guys is Elijah Campbell. Once again, a free agent. Restricted free agent, so he shouldn't be difficult to bring back. Let me just go over this list again. Obviously, there's some smaller guys that I'm probably forgetting, like maybe we bring Michael Dieter back on a cheap deal. Maybe we bring Justin Bethel back on the cheap deal as a special teams guy. John Jenkins, once again, he was a great job in the middle just to play here and there. But for the most part, like, these are the biggest, like, names I guess we should bring back. Eric Rowe's a stud, but I'm sure he can get bigger money elsewhere. I don't want to pay him top dollar just because of how we are in a roster. I'd rather that position kind of be filled in the draft or a cheaper free agent. But if you can get him back for cheap. So those are the list before I get into my top 3. So coming in number third most important free agent we should bring back, Jeff Wilson. Obviously, we made the move for him at the trade deadline. I think we sent a 5th or whatever to San Francisco. He came in. He had some good games, had some games where he obviously didn't make as much noise. I think the lack of running game came more from offensive line play than running back play. But Jeff Wilson's a tough runner, breaks lots of tackles. He runs really, really angry. So I'd bring him back. Once again, we just need depth in that room. We know how violent that position is and how likely they are to go down. So I would bring Jeff Wilson back. Add a solid body into that group. He shouldn't be expensive. Number 2, Trent Sherfield. Similar to River Craycraft, knows the scheme in and out, blocks his ass off, good special teamer. But he came in and basically beat out Cedric Wilson for the job. We paid Cedric Wilson $8 million a year to just be a punt returner because Trent Sherfield beat him out for the job. So if we can bring Trent Sherfield back on a cheap deal, that'd be amazing. He's a great player. The teammates love him in the locker room. The coaches love him as well. But obviously, if they don't bring him back, I understand. We have plenty of receivers, but ideally, you move Cedric Wilson and a pick to save that cap and then bring back Trent Sherfield on a cheap deal. You have a solid wide receiver, 3 or 4, depending how things play out. But number 1 on the list, if you haven't been able to tell already, Raheem Mostert. I kind of spoiled it earlier in the video, but running back's in need. Raheem Mostert played phenomenal when he played. Obviously, he was dealt with a couple of injuries, but when he played, he was very good. And I was surprised because not only did he provide, obviously, that high-level speed that he's got, but that man actually ran really hard. I did not expect him to run as violent as he did. There was multiple times he was running through people, breaking tackles. I think he won angry runs one week. He had a really big angry run against the Jets, and then I remember when we played the Bills, he was also running really, really hard. So I think he's a no doubt bring back. Obviously, he knows the scheme. He likes McDaniel. McDaniel likes him. I think without a doubt we need Raheem Mostert back. He's not going to be expensive just due to how the running back market is, and he's older. He's dealt with injuries, but I think without a shadow of a doubt we should bring Raheem back. Number 1 guy on my list. Comment down below who you guys want to see us bring back. The future content's going to be going over the top needs of the Dolphins and then making a free agency plan and the guys that we should target in free agency. So comment down below if you guys have any other suggestions. Appreciate you guys for watching. It means a lot to me. And until next time, I'll catch y'all.